So the Jazzmaster has a lot of buttons. Well, what do they all do? Let's start with one of my favorite settings. This is with this rhythm switch engaged, and what that does, if you have it up, it puts both pickups in a series. So they're effectively acting like a humbucker, but you get different voicings with this. And what this switch does is it disengages the tone and the volume down here, and you get these turn wheels right here. So this is just another volume and tone right here. Now you get a little bit different voicing if you switch right here. This still works, and this button still works. So this is a push-pull on the tone knob, and what that does is in the bridge pickup, it switches between this vintage kind of voicing, and if you push it in, it makes it hotter. It makes the signal louder, a little bit thicker in terms of signal. So this is one of my favorite settings with this pushed out. So that's the vintage voicing, and what I think that does, it gives it a little bit of an edge, a little bit more brightness to the signal. So we've got the rhythm switch engaged, volume and tone all the way up. We've got this in the rhythm position. It's still both pickups, but this is in the rhythm position, and this is up. So that's the vintage voicing. It's complicated. It takes a while to get used to, but you got so many different options. Everything sounds different. This is my favorite one. Let's see what it sounds like. All right, so that's a lot of stuff going on. Let's go to just the down switch on this rhythm switch up here, and that's going to re-engage the tone and volume down here. And so we'll do them both all the way up and in the neck position here. So this is just straight neck pickup all the way up. Let's see, what would be a good, let's try a little bit of this. All right, so that's just the neck pickup. Now, if you want to get a little bit hotter with this, you can go to the bridge pickup here and push this in. And so this is all the way up. I'm going to turn the gain up a little bit. Now, a Jazzmaster is really no more for the clean tones and what you can do with the tremolo. We'll talk about that more in a minute, but you can get some heavier sounds out of it. Just keep in mind you're going to get a little bit of noise because you got all these exposed wires down here. They're going to resonate a little bit, and the more gain you turn up, the more you can hear that. If you want to dampen it, just put a piece of fabric in here, cut up an old sock or something. Puffy lady's hair tie will work as well. Anything just to dampen it a little bit. So if you're going to play this high gain, you got to put something down here to dampen it a little bit. But anyway, so this is with no dampeners, and this is with high gain, a little bit of delay. Here we go.
'cause I don't know, no, no.
All right, so a little bit of Chris Buck action going on there, telling me how it feels. He put that track out for people to jam with, so thank you, Chris, for that. That's a fun one. Don't quite have enough frets to get up there, but you bend it a little bit. So if you're going to go high gain, put some dampeners on there. You might have heard a little bit of overtones that don't match up so well. Let's talk about the middle. So in the middle, again, with both pickups, I like the vintage sound better. So let's go back to low gain here. Okay. All right, so with the vintage, so this is up position here, and both pickups, rhythm switch is down. So let's back off on the tone and the volume a little bit, and you can get this good clean sound. These are things that I practice all the time. I just love the Ruben Wan solo. What is this one called? Daydreaming, I think. So let's talk about this tremolo bar here. When I first got this thing, I had no clue what to do with it because it actually just pops in. So you put quite a bit of pressure on it. Feels like you're going to break the thing. So I was scared to at first. See, I can't even get it out. There we go. So you can see this has the little knob on the end, and you're just like, how hard do I have to push? You had to push really hard to get it to click. But see, if you just put it in there, it falls down. But if you really push it in there, then it will stay where you want it to. And so it solves that problem. So that one was kind of hard to figure out, but yeah, you really had to push it to get it to stay. This little button down here on Jazzmaster, it kind of locks it, but if you push it down, like toward the end, it won't come up. It locks it from going up. But if you push it up this way, now I can go both ways on it. I can go up and down, and that's really the iconic part of the Jazzmaster is just this tremolo. You really can't get that effect on anything that I've tried. I've got a PRS back here. I've got a Strat. I had a Bigsby, and just I think they call this a panorama tremolo. So it's upgraded with the American Professional 2 here, and you can just really do dive bombs with it, but it still has that smooth effect, and you just can't get that sine wave curve. I mean, it's just your saddle here kind of works in tandem with this, and if you look at it, it moves a little bit too, and that's supposed to. And so, I mean, I just love those tones there. All right, so let's sum it up. First of all, you've got this rhythm switch here. With that down, it engages this tone and volume, and this switch works both ways, but this is your standard 3-way switch here, and so you've got your neck, both pickups, and you have the bridge pickup here. Now, the American Professional 2 comes with a push-pull on your tone knob here, and what that does, if it's up, that's a vintage voicing, which is going to be a little brighter, a little thinner, and that's just the way they have it wired there. It gets hotter if you push it down and it has more mid-range, more growl to it. So let's look at the difference there. So here it is, volume tone all the way up. This is with it up. Push it down. See, it dials in that mid-range, and all you gotta do is push it. There's up and down. And then same thing if you go in the middle. If you leave it up, you're gonna get a little more brightness. Whereas if you push it down, a little heavier, a little more mid-range. And then you go up, and that up down push pull doesn't really do anything. It just gives you a really good, sweet neck pickup sound there. So something like that. So it's just really fun. A little bit dirty, edge of breakup, it's easy to dial it in. That's all the way up on the tone and volume. I'm running this through a Line 6 Podgo with a Brett Scholl Vox 64 setting. Now let's talk about this rhythm switch. So if you engage this, if you go up on this one up here, then that disengages your volume and tone down here, and you have volume and tone with these turn wheels up here. Now the only downside is there's no marker, there are no numbers on here, so you just kind of have to feel. But what that does is it puts both these pickups in series. Now they will both play all the time when you have that up here. Now this still changes something with the voicings. You can hear a difference there. These two don't do anything, but the push-pull still works. So if you push this, then it gives you that more tinny, brighter vintage sound there with your bridge pickup. And remember, they're both engaged in series. They're acting like a humbucker, really, when it's in this position. And so that's a really cool feature of the Jazzmaster and putting them in series like that. And so with them both engaged and with that push-pull in the up position, I think you get the best of everything there. And so, there you have it, the long and short of what all the buttons do on here. It's a little confusing at first, but wow, you've got some great tonal options. If you are a clean player, a crunchy player, if you only do an occasional bit of high gain, I think this is just the perfect guitar. This is my number one right now. I love this thing and all the tones that I'm getting out of it. If you play metal, if you play high gain stuff, well, you're probably not going to be happy with this. It's a little bit noisy when you turn on a lot of gain, especially with all these open strings down here. And so if you play blues, if you play rock, if you play clean, mainly if you play clean, this is a beast for some different tones there. And you can go from jazz to rock with just a flip of a switch here. It's really fun, the different tones you can get from there. So thanks for checking this out. Have fun. Keep playing.